What a freaking night. I don't know how I keep doing this, to be quite honest. As a San Diego sports fan, it's freaking rough. I was going to do separate videos, the Dodger reaction and the SDFC game, but the way that happened, I have to combine it. It was a matter of 5 minutes, maybe, where SDFC has PKs with their backup keeper. They had it nailed down. They had it won. Make a PK, and they missed 3 of them in a row. And then minutes later, or I think pretty much around the same time, Will Smith homers, and the Dodgers then go win the World Series. Back-to-back World Series titles from the Dodgers. And I take a lot of crap from Dodgers fans, and the ammo just keeps coming. It's not gonna get better for me here. And I know I troll all the time, so I know it's coming. Although I did get someone wanted me to kill myself today. That was weird. Don't be that person on the internet. But yeah, yikes. I got to give props to the Dodgers. Miguel Rojas hitting that home run. I mean, out of all people, Miguel freaking Rojas hits the home run. The Blue Jays have it won. They're 2 freaking outs away from winning the World Series. And what a story it was. Bo Bichette can barely run. He can only jog because of his knee, and he hits a 3-run homer. Shohei, the umps giving Shohei all the freaking time in the world, and then he doesn't do his job very well, and then he gets to take his sweet time going back to the dugout, which was awesome. And the Blue Jays had it. They were right there. And then Miguel Rojas with the home run. Miguel Rojas being off balance on that ball to him to second, makes the throw, though, to home. Will Smith almost doesn't get back to touch home in time, but barely does. Of course, he makes it, of course. Yesterday, the ball getting wedged, the left center field wall, the ball getting wedged there. Who knows what would have happened there? I mean, I feel for I felt like I was a Blue Jays fan. Because I was a huge Blue Jays fan the last couple of nights. I mean, this whole series, but these past couple of nights, with how close it was to the Blue Jays getting a win and winning it all, man, so painful. I feel so bad for Blue Jays fans because you're not going to get back there. At least if I was a Blue Jays fan, that's the mentality that I would have. It would be, that was our chance. If I was a Blue Jays fan, my age probably, right? I wasn't there for 93. I would sit there and say, yep, that was my one shot. My one shot to win the World Series, to see my team win the World Series in my life. That's what we're going to get. That's it. Because of how hard it is. Do we go into seasons thinking that the Blue Jays are going to go win the American League? Who does think that? But things came together this year. And, Bo comes back and has an impact late in the year. I feel like this is a Blue Jays podcast. Bo comes back late in the year, and he performs well. And Vlad having the postseason of his life. There were questions about Vlad, and then they gave him the huge contract. But he came through. The dude was huge defensively with his arm, with his glove today, laying out for a ball at first, with his bat. Almost hit one out late in this game to walk it off. I mean, what a moment that would have been. So for me, it's just is that moment going to come again? When is that moment going to come again? So I feel terrible for Blue Jays fans. And I want to compare it to us in 2024 because we were right there to beating the Dodgers, had the series lead, right? And then obviously the 24, 27, whatever it was, 24 scoreless innings. But that wasn't in the World Series. That wasn't 2 outs away. You had a lead 2 outs away from winning the World Series. So, but at least, in franchise history, the Blue Jays have one. The Padres don't. So, at least the older Blue Jays fans, they can say that they still have a World Series. But man, that is painful. They're not going to get over that. They're just not. At least they have the Raptors title in 2019 because, man, that is just brutal. The Maple Leafs, I mean, that's just a whole nother story with the playoff heartbreaks there. But wow, I feel for him. But yeah, as a Padres fan, it freaking sucks. Seeing the team that you hate the most in all of sports. I was about to say not all of sports because I was going to say the Chargers because they left our city. But I did. Of course, I hate the Chargers, but like I don't really watch the NFL anymore. So I'm pretty detached to that. So like I don't hate the Chargers because I don't really watch. The Dodgers, I don't enjoy watching them play baseball. I freaking hate it. Like I just don't like the long 18 inning game earlier in the World Series. Didn't stay up till the end of it. Nope. I was hate watching for Kershaw, and then once that happened, and he actually got a ground ball, and then people acted like he, you know, saved the earth or something. Then I went to sleep because I was like, I don't enjoy watching the Dodgers. Why am I staying up for this, right? But this was Game 7. I was going to watch the entire thing. It's Game 7, and the Blue Jays were right there. It would have been so awesome. And instead, back to back for that team up north. And it must be nice to defer all that money, to have, to be able to sign Blake Snell and bring in Yamamoto, all the guys that they can bring in, Freddie and Mookie, all those huge contracts. I'm not saying the Padres don't have any huge contracts. Of course they do. And some of them weren't spent the best. Like, I'm not trying to act like the Padres or the Marlins and they literally don't have the money because they have spent on big contracts. I get it. But the Dodgers are in a different stratosphere. It would be nice to have the Dodgers TV deal, you know? And oh my gosh, Fox, go down the line of these media outlets and people on their knees for the Dodgers, and it's only going to continue. I'm surprised we didn't see the Shohei Ohtani's up in 8 batters graphic. What happened to that in the postseason? I'm surprised we didn't see that because we saw that last year, and holy cow, that was so annoying. But yeah, this freaking sucks. I don't like seeing joy from that fan base. I don't like seeing them happy. And maybe that's me being a bad human being. They've been happy enough, you know. Can Padres, can Sandy, how about let's just say San Diego sports fans, because we can talk about SDFC here in a minute. Can San Diego sports fans be happy? Are we allowed to be happy at some point in our life? Or is it just going to end in pain every freaking year? I don't know. Not going to lie. I wasn't crying, but when the Dodgers did win, I was a little emotional and pretty close to. I just hate that team. I hate that franchise. And Kershaw seems like a great human being, but I hate him in a Dodger uniform. And it sucks that he's a champion, retiring as a champion. I wanted Scherzer to retire. Like, that would have been awesome. Scherzer starting Game 7 today. I was like, man, shove it down their throats. That's going to be awesome. And he did fine. But he didn't even last, 5 innings? And seeing freaking Blake Snell running out on the field as a World Series champion with the Dodgers, like, that freaking sucks. Of course, the year he wins a Cy Young with us, we don't make the postseason. Just waste that year. I could go in so many. I'm just ranting right now. So many different directions. The Miggy home run, the ball getting wedged under the wall. It was going so well. Bo Bichette freaking smashes that ball off Ohtani. Meatball. You had Vladdy with that ball down the line, making diving catches. I mean, how lucky are the Dodgers? They're the luckiest freaking team ever. I mean, Miguel Rojas tripping and somehow still makes it. Will Smith barely gets his foot back on there. You have the fly ball by, I think, Clement, that Kike Hernandez is dropping that ball. It looks like a little leaguer trying to catch that fly ball. And here comes Andy Pages in to save the day. Like, of course. You got the umpires giving Shohei Ohtani forever to warm up. It's the World Series, so whatever. Like, what? Yeah, just throw out the rules. So freaking lucky. That organization. Some of the luck, man. Oh, I'm just disgusted. It went from an amazing night. It was Blue Jays. They're beating the Dodgers. They're 2 outs away from winning. SDFC's beating Portland. They're gonna move on. Chucky scores that second goal, and it's like, great. All right, awesome. What a night this is gonna be. Great. And then it turns into absolute trash. At least San Diego State football won today, but like that was at 4 o'clock. The night, the span of like 5-10 minutes there went to absolute S. So bad. I'm gonna move on to SDFC because I'm just pissed at that Dodger game. SDFC, they can still go win game 3. Back at home coming up this next weekend. They can still like SDFC, they should have won this game. That's also why it's frustrating. But they lose in PKs. And they did the U.S. Women's National Team 2023 World Cup all over again. I mean, also in that World Cup game, they got saved by the post. I'm pretty sure it was that game against Portugal. Or maybe no. That was the game before where they were able to advance. That's right. But still, it's pretty similar. Like they got saved by the post today in regulation. In the first half, I think one off the post. And then in PKs, Cedar Dos Santos comes out of the game in the first half. The dude gets hit in the face, in the head by a boot, and then also takes a ball to the head on a shot later as he's laying on the ground. So he comes out. Now you got the backup keeper in this game, Pablo Cisniega, who I thought did a pretty good job. Like he got a wake-up call early there. He almost allowed a goal. That would have been really bad. But he kind of snaps out of it, and he's in the game. And I like how he was aggressive, going out, getting balls, making sure like this ball's not going to be bouncing around. I'm going out and being aggressive. I'm getting this, and that's where the problem came in for that second goal SDFC allowed, where Portland, their guy came, and while SDFC was kind of waiting there for the ball to come down, that's not what happened with Portland, and they got the header goal. Guerra in the 98th minute. It's like that's San Diego sports right there in a nutshell. You're a minute away, a couple minutes away from moving on to the second round, and the last minutes, Portland gets a header on a corner, of course. And then in PKs, you have it. Cisniega saved it. He saved a shot. You had the advantage. Make the PKs. And it's one thing to miss PKs where you get blocked, right? Or like it was low, so there was a chance. Maybe it hits off a post. Low, right? But there was a chance. No, skied 2 of them, and then Yepe hits one off the post. Like that just can't happen. And I know these guys feel terrible. They want to win so bad. So I'm definitely not questioning that. I love Yepe. Marcus and Bartson just sails it. Oni Valakari sails it. And it was great to see Chucky come back, score a goal. I don't know if he was onside. I thought initially he was offside, but they said he was onside. So, all right. Scores a goal. Dreyer converts his pen. Chucky did as well. But man, that was such a San Diego sports moment. To have it right there, move on. You don't have to come back to Snapdragon Stadium for now your season is on the line. You lose, you're done. They had it right there, and they just didn't make the PKs. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't even have to make all 3 of those. It was you had the advantage, make a couple of them, and they didn't do that. So really frustrating. It was great to see Amal Pellegrino get that first goal. Obviously, there was a ton of stoppage time in the first half because of the Cedar Dos Santos injury. He ends up getting carted off. And the good news is they were saying on the broadcast that he is coming back to San Diego with the team tonight. So that's great news. Um, what a story it would have been for SDFC to win this match with Paulo Cisniega taking over and playing a majority of the match. Like, that would have been awesome. Being a PK hero, right? But wasn't meant to be. We'll see if CJ will play next week. I don't know what the injury is going to be. What this injury update's going to be. But obviously, having CJ, that would be awesome. Um, but yeah, that's next weekend. We'll see about that. Chucky scoring, like him coming back. I I liked. I'll say this: I liked the lineup, and then I liked him coming back because people make mistakes. Yeah, that was a mistake. Whatever happened in the locker room clearly was a mistake. That Houston game at halftime. Okay, clearly, he's an emotional guy, but if he was really apologetic and he worked his butt off in training and you know showed that, all right, I'm going to be a good teammate and I'm really sorry. I care a lot about this club. My emotions got the best of me. Um, if if he truly apologized in the right way and meant it, and he's doing all the right things, then he should be back playing. I liked him not starting though. Not that the message that maybe it still sends. I don't know if Mikey's still trying to do that, but because it was work, like they just beat Portland and they smacked Portland without him in Portland last time. It's working, so don't mess with it. Now, considering the situation where they were down, and then I believe, yeah, it was 1-1 at half, I believe. So Chucky comes on. So it wasn't a situation where they were down 1-0, which I thought that's what it was going to be when he was going to come on because he was warming up at the end of the first half. I thought maybe he'd come on when they were down. So it would be like, yeah, I mean, we need goals here. But it was tied. But of course, like you still want to go win the game. So yeah, bringing on Chucky, Baird, the impact just wasn't really there. You're not going to take Pellegrino off. You're not taking Anders Dreyer off, obviously. So you make that switch there with Chucky. And then, like, you see the impact immediately with not just fresh legs, but the talent that he has, obviously. Like, there were some connections there and there were some opportunities there. He should have passed that one to Dreyer, and Dreyer maybe would have put that away, probably would have put that away, and SDFC wouldn't have even had to gone to pens. And immediately, once he shot that, and Anders is sitting there like, what the heck, dude? Uh, Chucky knew that he messed up. So that's one that he's going to want to have back. And especially when you come back from what happened and then you don't pass to Anders there in that situation, it's not a good look. But he did look like, oh man, what a mistake. I'm so sorry. I should have passed it to you. Uh, but you do like the mindset of shoot, 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 because you don't know what's going to happen. Right? You can't score if you don't shoot. So shoot. But really frustrating span of time there to be a San Diego sports fan, where you've got what you thought was going to be an amazing night. SDFC is going to advance. The Dodgers are going to lose. Heck yeah, awesome. To a couple kicks in the nuts. And now I'm sitting here in a bad mood. And it's just a terrible night. And it's like, it happened again. That's just the life of being a San Diego sports fan. Now, what this could be, and me trying to be optimistic here, this could turn into winner take all at snap next weekend, and they go win in pens, or Anders scores a game winning goal in the second half, at the death, and what a moment that'll be at Snapdragon under the lights. Like, that would be great, right? And we could look back and be like, well, without them losing in pens there and not coming through, missing 3 pens in a row, without that, we wouldn't have had this moment. So I'm hoping that's the case, but they could also go lose and get upset in the first round, like for the 1 seed Miami got upset against Atlanta last year. So who knows? SDFC is a really entertaining team. And I mean, they just started. It's an expansion club. So it took me time to get connected with them because I wasn't familiar with all the players. And now though that we're all the way into the season, like, you know, obviously earlier in the season I couldn't tell you the entire roster. I wasn't familiar with the names, but now, you have more of that connection. Or at least I do. And I think a lot of fans have that connection. So it's gonna suck if they don't, if this season can't continue after this next weekend. Um, which should be a great atmosphere and hopefully get 2 playoff victories next weekend with SDFC and Wave because they're both going to be in action. So we shall see. As for the Padres, no manager news there yet. The latest is still same thing. Niebla, Hunley, and Pujols as the 3 finalists. Don't know if there's a fourth. Ryan Flaherty interviewed, but it doesn't seem like he's actually a finalist for the job. Thank goodness. I'm a Hunley guy. I know people, John and Jim got on me the other day about my novel that I wrote on Twitter about the Padres hiring Nick Hunley and how I think that would be good. I'd be stoked with Niebla. I'd be stoked with Hunley. I'd be interested in Pujols, but I don't think stoked would be the right word. I would be, because I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, they got him. No, Pujols wants the job. I think it would be, it's Albert Pujols, so I mean, I guess you're going to take that opportunity for him to manage your team, but definitely not a guarantee to work out. And obviously, with the Dodgers winning here, like, it's not just the manager. There's a lot to be worked on with this team, and didn't even get that Padre Dodger matchup in the postseason this year. He didn't even make it out of the wild card series. Didn't even beat the Cubs. I thought they were going to beat the Brewers if they could get past the Cubs, and then they would have matched up with the Dodgers, but they didn't get past that. So offensively, obviously, that's a big area of focus. And then who are they going to bring back pitching wise, or what guys are going to come in? So I'll be on here talking about that in the offseason. There's a lot to talk about. Another frustrating ending to the Major League Baseball season. Just absolute kick in the nuts. And Blue Jays fans have to be feeling obviously much worse than just Padres fans right now. Like, that's their team. And like I said earlier, I would be thinking that's my only shot in my lifetime to see my team win a World Series. And we were 2 freaking outs away and we didn't win. Like, that would be, oh, that would be so, so painful. So Blue Jays fans, Padres fans are with you. We feel really bad, and you're probably never going to get over that. Just like until the Padres win, I'm never going to get over 2022, the NLCS. I'm never going to get over 2024, where they had the series lead, and that was their World Series. You had the freaking Dodgers saying all offseason, yeah, Padres Dodgers was the World Series. That was the real World Series. Yeah, shut up. That makes us feel better. No, it doesn't. Makes me want to puke. Silence says it all. Shout out to the great partners of the show, though. Gaglione Bros Famous Cheesesteaks and Garlic Fries. Their main location is on Friars Road. Check them out. Link in the description. Breaking Tea, they've got Padres and Aztecs shirts and sweatshirts. Click the link in the description there. Also, they've got shirts and sweatshirts for a lot of other sports, a lot of other teams as well. And SeatGeek, code Talking Friars, $20 off your first order when you sign up with your email address. So maybe there's SDFC tickets that you see on there. Other events, not just Padres, but there's concerts on there as well. So please use that to your advantage, trying to help you out there. Yeah, until next time, hopefully we get some manager news soon. And tomorrow will be I guarantee you this, tomorrow will be a better day than today was. Hopefully. Today was freaking brutal. Tonight was really brutal.